Welcome again, my friends. So now our objective is to work on the send message function right here. So let's start. So if I went, I need to remove this response here and let's start. First of all, we need to get the user ID that is logged in. So the user underscore ID simply from the request.user.user ID. We already talked about this. The second thing is you need few data that will be sent in the body. So sorry, okay, so the cause, and then what we will get first of all is the message. So let's say if we have a message, also it gets the convo underscore ID, which is the conversation ID, because every message is going to be, part of a certain conversation. And then also if we have any files, and then equal request dot body like this, and then we'll go down here. Then we will see something like if we don't have any message, okay, or like for example we don't have like no convo ID, okay, just simply we don't have those two. So simply if we don't have but at least because we could send just files, it doesn't matter, we don't need to send a message. The most important thing is like we just, if there is no convo ID, we have a problem. So maybe or maybe I don't have no message and then also no files. Okay, so then that means either I don't have the message and also I don't have the files, or like I just don't have the conversation ID. That means we have a problem. So I can use logger dot error. So did I import it logger? I can import that .js from here, and then what I can do just simply an error, and we can say something like invalid data passed into the request, something like that. And then simply, actually let me add something more understandable for me. Check, or maybe please provide a conversation ID and a message body, something like that. That's really what I'm trying to do. And then we just have to return a response.status 400. All right, or you can actually, if you don't want to do it this way, you can create the ship error, but we're not going to have the message, so maybe I just can go return response.status 400 and that's it. So now let's test this. So this is the send message. If I try to actually just send, this is what I'm gonna get. So let me just make sure. So if I open the console, please provide a conversation ID and a message body. All right, so that's it. Does the logger, let me just make sure of something. Let me just try again and send. Okay, I thought the logger returns something and stop the code from executing, but it doesn't. So yeah, that is fine. Okay, maybe we need to send the status like this. Send status. Let's check with this because it should actually just return a status. Let me try send right now. Okay, it does. So it says bad request. This is, ideally how you're gonna do it. And so this is we checking if we don't have those informations. And then right here we will actually continue. First of all, I'm just gonna define the message data. Okay, so the message data is simply the data that I want to push to the database. First of all, we have this sender. So the sender is me that I'm sending. So it's gonna be the user underscore ID, which is the logged in user. The second parameter is gonna be the message, which is gonna be the message itself. And then also we can have the conversation, and that's going to be the convo underscore ID, because every message model, as you see right here, has a conversation right here, which is just simply a reference to a conversation model. So that's why there we have to actually add that. And then we need to add the files. Simply if we have files, we'll send them. If not, we'll just send an empty array. So these are the message data. And then we'll go new message. As we're going to create this new message, we're going to use await. And then let's create a function that is called create message, and it takes the message data right here. And then we can actually take this and go back. Let me close all of this and go to services. So now I'm gonna go here and then look for services, and we'll create the file. So message.service.js right here, and let me go export link host export const creates message. It's an asynchronous function that takes the data here, and simply we're gonna go let new message and then use await and then the message model. So let me do that. So let me go here and then import from the so we're gonna go to the models here and then to the index.js, and we can import it there. I think we're not gonna be able to, because if I went back to the models in the index, I didn't actually get it. Got it. So import and then message model, and then it's gonna be from the message model.js. Forgot to do that, and I will export it right here. So if you did it yourself after seeing that I didn't do it in the last video, then bravo. So message model right here, and what we'll have to do now is just use the create function, and what we need to do is just send the data there. And if there is no message, so if there is no new message, sorry, that means something went wrong. What we have to do is, let me actually go back to the other service, for example, for the user, and I can, not the user, the conversation, for example, I just want the message, so I can take this and just simply do it this way, throw a create HTTP error, and let me import that, and we're gonna go back to quest. Oops, something went wrong. Okay, and then if everything went all right, we're just gonna return the new message. So like that. All right, so now we have this function. I can go back to my controllers, I can call that. So now I do have it. So the next thing is I'm gonna take and populate some data. So populated message, which is simply also await, and we'll create a function that is called populate message, like this. So populate, not populated, populate message right here. And what we need to do is just simply, because we're not going to send any fields because I want to populate everything, so all I need to send is just the new message dot underscore id. Okay, I would have tried to send the new message directly and just, you know, do it, but it just didn't work. So I had to actually get the message again and then populate. So that is what it is. So export const and then populates message. It's an asynchronous function and it takes an ID right here. So let's just have it as an ID, and then simply I'll go down here and I'm just gonna get the message. I'm gonna use await and then the message model, and I'm gonna use find by ID, and then simply use that ID. And then after finding the message, I can just simply go down and start populating right here. So what we need to populate, first of all, let me define the path, which is gonna be the sender, and then also select here. So what we need to populate from the sender, just, you know, the only need for the message, what do you think I need? So I might need the name. Okay, the email, do I really need it? I don't think so, because if some of these informations are going to be like in the conversation itself, and I can just look through the informations of that user. But I might need the name, and maybe the picture, the status is going to be also in the conversation, so maybe just this too. And the model that I'm gonna need to populate this is just gonna be the user model. You know, two things we're doing it right. So you could have just named it right here, the user model, and just do this, but this is also another way that does work. So after populating this, we can continue populating. Now what I need to populate, so we're gonna do the same thing here. So the path is gonna be the conversation. So this is what we wanna populate in the message, and what we need to select. So let me see what we're going to select. We're going to need the name of the conversation, and then is it a group, and also we need the users inside it. And also we're going to define the model we want to populate with, and the model is going to be the conversation model, like that. All right, this way. And then I can also populate. So I can go populate, because as you see, we're going to have the users. So after we populate right here, we're going to populate the users. So we need to populate what is inside the users. So I can go to the path and define those users here. So this is what I populate. And then what I want to get is just simply the name and the email and the picture and maybe the status. Okay, here we will need them, status, okay, of that user. And then I can go model and then simply use the user model here. Okay, I hope this is making a lot of sense. And if it didn't work, we will test this, don't worry. So after everything, so if there is no message, we will do this the same. All right, but if everything went all right, we just need to return the message. That's it. And let me just go back right now. So populated message, I need to import it. So now that I've populated the message, there is something also that I need to do, because after sending a message, that message that you send is actually now the latest message of that conversation. So I have to go to the conversation and make this new message as the latest message there. So I can go await and use just update, and let's call this update latest message like this. And we just need to send the convo_ID as the conversation ID, and the second thing is going to be the message itself, new message, the whole message. So new message this way, and then simply so after that we're just going to go response.json, and then we need to send the populated message. Okay, so this is something that we have to also do. How are we going to do that? Simply this updated latest message is something more in the conversation services. So I can go to conversation service and then down right here, export, then calls updated latest message asynchronous, and it takes the convo ID, so convo_ID, and also the message. So we can go here and let's start. We're gonna go calls and then updated. So updated convo. So it returns something, but in this case scenario, we actually didn't return anything, but we can make it return something. So you might need it somewhere else. Okay, so we're just gonna go await. Sorry, equal await, and then I'm gonna use the model, so the conversation model here, and I will need to find by ID and update. Okay, so what is the ID we'll find with is the convo_ID. What I need to update is just the latest message property, okay, which is going to be now the message itself, the message, just MSG that we set. Make sure the naming is right. Typos are your biggest, rival right here. So latest message, okay, this way. And if everything went all right, so if it not, so that means if there is no updated convo, that means something went wrong. So I've just add that here, save. We will need just to return the updated convo, even though we might not need it for this case scenario, but it is a nice thing to do, because if you need it, you can actually use that. All right, and we're actually done with the send message function. So now we need to test this. I'm just gonna go open MongoDB Compass right here first. That's something we need to do, and I'm gonna go back here. So this is send the message. I'm gonna go to the body here. Let me put this way. I'm gonna go row, and then I'm gonna go JSON, and I need to send a message. So the message, as you see, what is the things that we need is the convo ID. So convo_ID, and it's gonna be something here. And then also we have the message here. Okay, we're not gonna send any files right now because we still didn't work on the uploaded. So simply the files are not gonna be like just gonna be URLs for the images or like something, just a URL of the uploaded file somewhere in the cloud, in Cloudinary, exactly. So this is what we need to do. So if we go back, just we need the message, the convo ID. So the message, the user I'm sending from is going to be the user logged in, which is going to be, defined by the authorization we send in, which is probably test1 user or something. So let me actually just log in here. Let me zoom in. Okay, and open this, and I'm going to go to WhatsApp. And then I'm going to go to conversations. So I'm going to select a conversation, which is, for example, this one. Okay. And this one is between me and the certain user. So I can take that and just go here and add the conversation ID here. And I can go something like hello. And now let me send and see what's going to happen. So I send. It says return status 200. Let me show you. And you will see here we have an actual message. So this is the ID. This is the sender, which is me with this mail with my name and my picture. And then the message is hello. And also it's related to a certain conversation. This is this, and it has a name and its group and users and everything right here. And the files also, if we have certain files. So it is a nice thing to have. So I might change a few things, to make things faster for us later, but for now, this is what we're gonna have. I can refresh here and I will go down. I need to zoom out a little bit. Maybe I zoomed in too much. So let me go view, zoom out a little bit, and let me go down here. So we have messages here. So I click on here and I will find this new message. So this is the sender, which is me. I can actually send another message. Let me just also go down here. Okay, this is a nice course. It is, to be honest. So I can send something and it will be also created fast. And if I go back right now, I will refresh and you will see there is a new message here. This is a nice course, and it's also, as you see, to the same conversation and also with this sender right here, which is the same as me. So I can also go to another conversation, for example, and send another message. Okay, like all my users are the same. Let me use the whole by right there, sadly. So I'm gonna take this convo ID and we can say hello my friend or something like that, and then I will send and it will be created, of course, and I can go back to the database, refresh, and now as you see, if I went back to my messages, I will have the third one. Okay, and notice this is the same sender, but it's a different conversation. You see, where is the conversation? This is 02 and this conversation is 67. So it does work, and we're actually sending some messages. You see the file array is empty, so we're done right there. This was a long video, but it was nice. So the next video probably will just work on getting all the messages for a certain conversation, and we'll be probably done with our, mostly with our backend for this kind of stuff, and then we'll go to the front end and do some also real nice work. See you in the next video.